Jadon Sancho's big money move away from Borussia Dortmund appears to be drawing ever closer, with more reports of prices being close to agreement levels, the player having a huge desire to leave this summer, and both Borussia Dortmund and Manchester United both seemingly wanting to get this deal done before the Euro tournament this summer. In other news, Declan Rice is an exceedingly unlikely move for Manchester United this summer, as it's been revealed they do not have the funds to land both him and Jadon Sancho in the summer of 2021. We've got that and a lot more coming up for you. Hit the like button, hit the share button. Let's go, people. More reports have emerged this afternoon, this time from one of the leading transfer experts in world football, Fabrizio Romano, that Jadon Sancho wants to move to a top club, potentially an English club. Dortmund are prepared to sell for no less than 85 to 90 million, and Man United are still interested. Liverpool too are interested in Jadon Sancho, but have to sell an attacker. There's been some other quotes saying some attackers from Liverpool need to go. The Jadon Sancho transfer is closer than ever before. The news is becoming more and more consistent. It's becoming more and more consistent across the ether. It truly does. The asking price between 85 to 90 million euros. It's around 75 million pound plus. That is an absolute steal for anybody with the quality of Jadon Sancho. There's a gentleman's agreement between Dortmund and Jadon Sancho to leave this summer. The real pressing matter in Man United look like they're favourites for this is the fact that they want to get this deal done before the Euros as well. The only other seriously interested party right now in Jadon Sancho is Liverpool. But Liverpool cannot afford to buy him without selling a player. And many believe, and I do, that's a star player, a Mane, a Salah, maybe a Firmino, or a collection of others. The Origis, the Shakiris, the Origis, etc. How long is it going to take Liverpool to get those deals done? This is where, if you're a Manchester United fan, you must expect and demand your club to act with precision, speed. Get the deal done now. Get it over the line. Don't allow anybody else to come in and steal him away from you. It's been interesting. Some of the other quotes in here, it does go on to say that there's been no official bids put on the table for Jadon Sancho yet, but it's going to be an open race for him only if a huge proposal will arrive this summer. Now, we know that already. There's nothing new. That huge proposal is that 85 to 90 million euros. Man United didn't want to spend as much as that. It was maybe about 10 million pounds above their asking price. The Cavani renewal and the Eric Bailly renewal means that Man United now have more funds to invest in that right-hand side of the attack. They don't need to spend big up front or in defense. And this news also couples into what's going on with Declan Rice. So I reached out today to one of the world's leading sports journalists and transfer experts just about Declan Rice after the news that came out this morning. And what he told me is very simple. Declan Rice to Manchester United. I asked him if it's going to happen. He said no. Manchester United cannot afford it. Manchester United cannot afford it. That isn't my source. That's come from Dean Jones, who's one of the leading transfer experts and football writers in the market. Man United do not have the funds as it currently stands to buy Declan Rice. They are going for Jadon Sancho. That is happening. Man United are, in my opinion, Man United are all but there. They just need to submit this bid and not pay silly buggers. We will see whether the John Myrtle, Darren Fletcher influence actually helps to improve that. But as far as Declan Rice is concerned, that doesn't appear to be an option on the table, even with selling Jesse Lingard. Even with the Jesse Lingard situation, Man United have said that they do not have enough money to land two players of the status and profile of Declan Rice and Jadon Sancho in one summer. COVID and lack of fans is being used as the excuse. But Man United fans, if this news turns out to be true and Manchester United do not go for Declan Rice, who else would you want? One question, one area I would look at with this is Declan Rice is probably only doable if we sell somebody big. If you look at the Man United squad, who could that even be? That's the big question. Who could that even be? Legitimately, Martial, Pogba, do we want to lose those players for a Declan Rice? And if there's no Declan Rice, who are the alternatives? Who are the alternatives that could come into Manchester United and make an impact? Sander Berg, Basuma. We're going to take a little look at them a bit later statistically, compare them to what we've already got. Are they the profile? Are they the quality of player that's needed to take Manchester United back to the level that they want? We know that Sander Berg is, of course, available at a cut price of around 12 to 13 million pounds this summer. We're going to open up the lines very soon for you all to come on and have your say. Do me a big favor and smash that like button for us. Share this stream across social media platforms if you would be so kind. Currently, right now, YouTube on 161 likes versus Facebook, which is on 200. Facebook always starts off faster than YouTube. 210 likes over there. Can the YouTube crowd of the Football Terrace catch up? We're going to have KJ on very soon as well. A few people in here saying, what about Ndidi? Ndidi's going to be as expensive as Declan Rice, especially if Leicester City make it into the Champions League. And it isn't, they're going to ask for big money. If you want to take Declan Rice away, if Declan Rice is valued at 70 million, Ndidi is every bit as valuable, in my opinion. He's a colossal player, dominated Man United in midfield yesterday, and he would walk into this Manchester United team every single day of the week, twice on a Sunday. And if Man United are claiming to not have the money for Rice, they won't have the money for Ndidi unless players are sold. There's a few other bits of news we'll touch on today as well. Lacazette linked with a move to Atletico Madrid. Kendall in bits. I don't know. Maybe she's not. Maybe she's excited about that. I don't know, which is interesting. And Arsenal fans, you are linked with a massive transfer, a huge transfer. Champions League winner could be on his way. Could be on his way to Arsenal this summer. We'll reveal that just a little bit later. Ginger Fury says Ruben Neves. Ruben Neves could be a good option. Ruben Neves would be a cheaper option, I believe, than Rice and Ndidi. But how much cheaper? 40-50 million pounds still going to cost, but it could be an option to go for Mark Noble. Yeah, that's jeez. Someone here says Rice isn't 75 mil, he's 100 mil. Well, there we go. That's from the horse's mouth there. A West Ham fan that thinks he's worth even more than that. Well, that prices him even further out, doesn't it? Queen in the North says, if we start next season without a new DM, I'm done with this club. We need a world-class DM more than we need Sancho. And that's a debate that I know a lot of people have had for a long time now. Which is more important to Manchester United? Let us know your thoughts and feelings. Same competition running as ever. D1 got his name into the hat earlier on today. Super chat us in the best question of the show, and your name gets entered into the prize draw at the end of the month to win a football shirt of your choice or a little bit of tech. We've got a Rode podcasting mic to give away and a new pair, brand new pair, all sealed up, gaming headset. I know there's a lot of gamers out there. Stick this in your head, stick these in your ears, and it's supposedly this is got amazing sound. I don't know myself. I haven't tried them on because they're sealed, but there we go. So someone can win them. We're going to give them away. Get your super chat questions in. We're going to have a nice panel on today. I hope there's going to be a nice panel on today as well. 100 million for Rice. Daylight robbery is what's being said here. Terry, I watched your video from yesterday where Fixer said obvious players, and by that he meant British. He doesn't want United to sign British players. I don't think he meant that, Harrison. I don't think he meant that. I think he meant cheaper alternatives as an example. And we're going to go through some of them earlier. How do they actually stack up against what Manchester United already have? That's the big thing there for me in relation to that. A few people asking, please tell us who the Arsenal player is. Okay, I'll reveal it now. The player that Arsenal are linked with, the Champions League winner that Arsenal are linked with this summer is Ryan Bertrand. I'm trying to keep a straight face. They've gone from Camavinga to Ryan Bertram. Listen, there's also a chance they're going to sign a Premier League centre-back as well this summer. Premier League winning centre-back. Phil Jones is available. That could be done. That could be done, no doubt about it. It really could. Everyone's laughing. Terry, mate, good afternoon. I'm very happy. I have an exciting Donny update today off the field. Oh, I thought you meant Donny van der Beek, and then I read who the comment was from. Now that's man like Aaron in the house. Thank you for sharing that with us, sir. What I did like about the news today about Jadon Sancho from Fabrizio, we know he's one of the leaders out there. It echoed everything we spoke about yesterday morning. Go back and check out yesterday's morning stream. It's just exactly the same information that's Fabrizio put out. That wasn't from us, by the way. That wasn't, Terry says he's got sources. Never claimed that for once in my life. I speak about in the show who we got the information from, what we spoke about, and everything else. And look, my view is Jadon Sancho's transfer away from Borussia Dortmund is very, very close indeed. They're pushing for this to be done before the Euros. They've set the price, and it all seems to fit for Man United. But Liverpool Football Club are lurking. Chelsea Football Club are lurking slightly further behind them. If Liverpool can make the sale of a big player or maybe some multiple other options, there's a little bit of conjecture over whether that's true or not. Who knows what could happen? I want to take a look here. If you haven't seen these things before, Jadon Sancho and why he would be so important to Manchester United, it's really, really key to focus on the fact that creativity-wise, he's light years in front of everything else that Manchester United have got. Absolutely above and beyond everything else that Manchester United have got. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. Light years in front. Absolutely light years in front. Look at the crossing accuracy of 24% versus the best we've got is Greenwood at 20%, Rashford at 16%, Dan James, 5%. Absolutely colossal. And when you actually look at this season and you start to compare goals and assists, Sancho in yellow there, Rashi in red, Greenwood and Martial. He just strips. He absolutely strips, from a creative point of view, the rest of our team apart. I think some respect does need to be put on Rashford's name there. But the difference in quality is absolutely astronomical. And Man United need to, in my opinion, move heaven and earth to bring him into the football club. There is no doubt about that whatsoever. They do. They've got to go and get him. Can you imagine? I am addressing Man United fans here for a minute. Imagine we let Liverpool, imagine Manchester United, after all the work we've done, allow Liverpool to slip in behind us and take, for me, a player that is built for Manchester United Football Club. It would be beyond embarrassing, in my opinion. Absolutely beyond embarrassing. It needs to happen. Terry, if Chelsea went with a genuine interest in Sancho, where do you reckon it'd go? I think I've said this a few times. I think Chelsea would have an amazing chance of signing him. Why would they not? But I think Sancho, as much as the money needs to be right for both Dortmund and him, which is fair, people have got to get paid the going rate for whatever they do as a job, and footballers are no different. I think it would depend upon squad status. So Manchester United have that opening. They don't have the shirt number, but they have that number 7 position open, ready to go. And I think, for me, Chelsea would need to get rid of a big player or two for Sancho to have the appetite to want to go there and play. That would be my view and opinion on that. Oh, listen, Sancho is another Obertan Bebe. Come on, man. Don't chat fart, bruv. Don't chat fart. Man like Daniel here says, Manchester City, you have to win the Champions League before you can laugh. What were they laughing at? I'm not too sure what they're laughing at. Terry, thoughts on Verratti to Chelsea? Listen, if Verratti goes to Chelsea, it's game over. He's even better than Jorginho. Do you know what? If Verratti goes there, I want Jorginho at Man United tomorrow. I'd take that guy tomorrow. Absolute baller. Baller. It really is. There we go. Let's do a few more of these comments that are coming through here. A lot of people asking about the Verratti deal as it stands right now. Breaking news, Arteta sacked. Has he been? Nah, you're lying to me. You're lying to me. I wish it was true, but it isn't, is it? Is it true? No, you're lying to me. You're lying. Sometimes, do you know what used to happen to me when I first started off on this? When I was live, people used to say things, oh, this is broken, this has just happened. I used to get excited again, check. And I used to ignore it. And then it happened once where the news, I went live saying there's a deal that's close soon. And I was like 5 minutes into the stream and it got announced. And I didn't believe anyone that it was true. It isn't true. There we go. There we have it. We're going to share the link very, very soon for you to all come on and for you to have your say. We've got KJ waiting very patiently backstage for us as well to come on. Yeah. Okay. I'm just looking at a few. Where is the Verratti news come from? Just out of interest. I'm interested in just going to take a look at that because I like him. Verratti. I like Verratti. Where's that come from? Oh, 90 minutes. Okay, Thomas Tuchel wants to reunite with Verratti. But where's that? Let me click on it. Jamie Spencer's put it out, but who's it from? Like, what source? Is it their own source? Interesting one for me. Listen, Verratti's amazing. If that news is true, wow. That would be gargantuan. Gargantuan. It really would. I'm not even messing about. That would be massive. Super chat here. Where's it gone? There it is. It says, would Sancho go to Man City, Terry? I don't think he would. I kind of get the feeling that he's closed that chapter in his life. There's been no real credible link of City for Sancho this whole past year or so. Could it happen? Maybe. I don't think it would happen under Pep. I don't. I'm going to get a go on Elite KJ on very, very soon. But I wanted to go through something here, midfield head-to-heads, because a lot of people are saying let's go for some cheaper options. I've heard Sanderberg and I've heard Basuma's name mentioned about coming in and replacing Scott McTominay and Fred. So I did a little bit of statistical research into this. Hit that like and share button, by the way. And looked at some defensive actions this year. And we've got interceptions, recoveries, and defensive duels here per game. Sort of look at it and I think to myself, I was a little bit shocked, really. I thought that Berg and Basuma would have more. That's per game as well, by the way, in terms of totals. It takes into consideration injuries and timeout. But defensively, would there be a huge increase in terms of the overall metric? You see there, Fred defensively, across interceptions, ball recoveries, and defensive duels per game. Fred in front of everybody in relation to that, there's no doubt. And the other element that I looked at as well was the defensive actions in terms of losing of the balls, etc. So you can see the losses there, all pretty similar. Basuma there, 7 times per game, he will lose possession of the ball. You then look at the red is pass completion losses. So there's like 11% of the time Basuma loses the ball with a pass. The highest being Sanderberg with 13%. There's all much of a muchness. And then the orange one is loose balls lost. So after all the loose balls they contest per game, how many they're losing? There ain't much between them. My only fear, like genuine fear, of Manchester United going into the market and looking at lesser players, 12, 15, 20 million players, is for what we need, how much more of these individuals actually going to improve us. I think Basuma would be a better bet than Sanderberg, but who knows? In terms of statistical outputs, there doesn't appear to be a great deal of difference between any of them. That's just a fact. There isn't a great deal of difference in terms of ball retention, pass completion, loose balls won, recoveries, interceptions. It's very much of a muchness. I did expect Basuma and Sanderberg to make more interceptions and be involved in more defensive duels because their teams are less attacking than Manchester United, but that seemingly wasn't the case. Are they of the standard needed to improve Man United's midfield, or do we need to look bigger and beyond that? The next level up, the Ruben Neves level. What are you all thinking and feeling around that? If Ndidi's and Declan Rice's are going to be too expensive for Manchester United, where's the other areas that should be the focus out there in your opinions. I want to do some comments on that right now. Fred just needs better than McTominay, is what the Dilly Show thinks. What I love about that is some people think the complete opposite. They think that just McTominay needs better than Fred. But I hear you. I think we need better than both, if I'm being completely honest. Terry, compare with John McGinn. Do you know what I'll do? Once we get some callers on, and we've got the panel on as well, I'll go and get some other stats from other people and add them into that for you as well, so we can get a different feel and a different flavor for it. Make sure that like button is being hit and shared. I'm going to get man like KJ, and Gal's looking very smart. You know, he's got a shirt on. He looks good. He's shaking his head. I'm not taking the mick. He does. He looks smart. It's a good thing. Let's bring the boys on now to have their say. KJ's here with me. Gal's here with me. Afternoon, gents. How you doing?
Chilling, man.
Good, Kate?
He's not having the transfers.
Oh, no. I've just been eating.
He's eating.
Oh, okay.
I want to ask you quickly before we go into the big news about Sancho and Declan Rice today. What's your thoughts? Champions League winner Ryan Bertram on his way to Arsenal.
Listen, AFC Bell dropping some news on everybody today, right? When it comes to Ryan Bertrand as a backup left back, there's nothing wrong with that. I honestly don't see it as a long-term solution. It is another stopgap. We do have a young academy player in Joe Lopez that I want to see eventually get developed into somebody that could play in the first team. And you never know with young players; they might not cut the mustard, they might make it. So this is another stopgap. I'm not happy with the stopgap, but I'll take him. And I said I would have taken him in January, so I'm not going to be a hypocrite and say I'm not going to take him now.
I hear you on that. I'm only bantering you a little bit. I think actually his backup is a good option. You can't have Xhaka going into that role, and I think you need Saka further up the field when rotating in those positions. KJ,
yeah, and I'm wearing the light blue for Man City for some reason.
Okay, yeah, I hear you, man. KJ, Sancho. This deal looks like it's coming to a head. Liverpool are interested. You know, another credible source in Fabrizio talking about how the deal is.
Hello,
Jess. Tottenham want the deal done before the Euros. Man United want it done before the Euros. The players pushing for a move to a big club. The price has been set. Been confirmed by 3 or 4 credible sources that it's within the price range for Manchester United Football Club. You've got Liverpool that are looking but may need to sell a star or two to raise it. The deal looks like it's. I can't imagine Sancho staying at Dortmund beyond this summer. What's your thoughts on everything that's come out today?
I'm trying my hardest not to get drawn in. I don't want to get drawn in, but it's Jadon Sancho. Damn it, every time. The signs are looking positive. You see me, I'm so reluctant to say things. The signs are looking good. The signs are looking good. We look like we're in the driving seat. We look like the ones trying to force issue and get this thing done. Dortmund are more accepting and willing to make it happen as well. So these are all wonderful signs. Again, it's about the trust in the club. But if we get this done before the Euros and it's a nice, quick, easy transfer, I'm going to be so gassed. I've been waiting for this guy for 2 years to come to Manchester United. So now is the time. Man United, I beg, please, just get it done. Get it done. I won't call you pagans. I won't call you pagans for a day. I'll go for the entire day without calling the Glazers pagans if you do this. Please. But yeah, the signs are good. I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing him in Manchester Red. Come on.
Yeah, absolutely. Jess, I know I see you liking Chris's comments, telling me that something I said wasn't true earlier. I was like, oh, that's nice. No, I mean,
I did. Wait, what?
You might have liked it by mistake, maybe that you said that, but like I got Grizz Khan's amazing. I love Grizz. So there's news that Liverpool are interested, but Fabrizio, again, people are. I had some guy say, yeah, Terry, his English isn't great. He actually meant some players. I'm like, well, I heard him say an attacker. But either way, Liverpool look like they want to get involved in this as well. Kind of looking at this from the outside in, because with respect, Arsenal are not involved in this transfer. Where do you think Jadon Sancho is going to
go? It's hard to tell because it really just, I don't see Liverpool for the same reasons. And now I remember what you're talking about. Yeah, they would need to sell one of their stars to get that done. I remember that. I was just there, like, just looking at stuff. So yeah, I think it's more of like a Chelsea versus Man United type of thing, but Man United need him. he fits better with you guys, I think, because I mean, why can't Chelsea just play Callum Hudson-Odoi? I don't get it. They're kind of similar, but obviously Sancho's like a different level. So for me, I think he would be perfect for you guys because then you can move Greenwood off of, you know, the wings. He's not really a winger type of player. You would get more service into Cavani, and Greenwood could just kind of like enjoy his time as a 9 when Cavani's not playing. So I think that's the perfect move for you guys. Should have got it done last summer, but now you're going to get like a cut price deal. So that's a good thing for you guys. So I think it's happening. It has to happen for you guys. He would fit in perfectly with the whole group. And so, yeah, I hope it gets done for your sake too, because seeing you guys like capitulate, I mean, it was funny, but like at the same time, it was kind of sad because I thought
Oh man,
By the way, just to put it in the comments,
that was amazing.
just in the comments of some people, I have no issue with what Jess tweets, likes, shares, agrees or disagrees with. No, people need to really understand, like it's literally not a thing. Like, and by the way, like I said, Grizz and me always go at it on Twitter. It's all good. Relax your brains a little bit. There was some other news today as well. Declan Rice to Man United is seen as not an option, as Man United stated they cannot afford him. What's your take on that, KJ?
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that we can't afford anybody. You know what I'm saying? We know we can afford certain things, but due to the pandemic, due to the fans not being in the terrible Garvey, due to the fans not being in the stadium, they're gonna take this opportunity to try and recoup and save as much money as they can. However, I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing that if we can only sign one player, it's Sancho or Rice, and we sign Sancho. I would prefer we sign Sancho and go after someone who is a DM, but like Fixer likes unobvious signing. I'd rather the unobvious signing be a DM than a right winger, personally. So it's not that bad of a thing. I feel like Basuma, Burge, you got Lema and Zakaria as well are all upgrades on McTominay and or Fred. So going after those players who we can get, John McGinn as well, so I'm putting him up, would be a good signing. And you know what? Yeah, this is gonna be very controversial. I think Lucas Torreira wouldn't be a bad shout. Like when he first came into the Premier League, people were loving him, raving off, calling him the Uruguayan Kante. He had a very good start in that DM role. Emery decided to turn him into a number 10 for some reason, play him here, there, everywhere, left wing, right, number 10 and all that. But when his best performances came when he was playing at that number 6 kind of defensive midfield role, and I feel like there's still a player in there. I believe. I feel like there's still a player in there.
You could have him.
Stop. 1 second.
Could we get it out with him? I'm not too sure.
Nobody that is not in South America will have Lucas Torreira next season. He wants to go home after the situation that happened over the past couple of months. He's homesick, and the passing of his family member has escalated that to a level where he does not want to stay in Europe after this.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Then we won't get him.
I have a question for you guys, though. Like, you named so many different players. Like, you named Basuma and Burge and these players, but why don't you guys go after Ndidi? If Leicester gets Soumare, then Ndidi is a natural fit for you guys.
If we don't have the piece for Rice, we definitely ain't got the piece for Ndidi, man. Like Ndidi is an 80 million kind of signing. Like they would demand that kind of money, and we can't afford Rice. There's no way we're affording Ndidi unless we wait a year. And potentially try and save money, buy a player that can slot into the squad, but not for like he challenges the way they're through, but not actually be like you're the main guy. Then next year we could potentially be like, all right, let's go all out for Ndidi. But Ndidi this summer with Sancho, I would love
Ndidi
him,
after the season that he's had, you might be able to get him for a little bit less. He hasn't been amazing this season, to be honest.
That is true, but that's down to injury, and Leicester are very stingy, but they're very good at their business. So if they're
you don't want to do another Maguire, basically.
Nah. This is why already, bro. I can't just stand it twice to the row. Nah,
this is why Manchester United, you can never win. Arsenal, you can never win. Big club, you can never win, because if you sign a player that's an underwhelming signing, at the time of the transfer window, you're going to be, as fans, you're going to criticize it. If you sign a big money signing and you pay over the odds for Declan Rice, people are going to get on top of him because of his price tag. So no matter what, you're not going to win. In my opinion, it's up to the scouting team and the people that you have in the back room to get the right person in. As a fan, you should just be happy when the person comes through. If they're performing well, be happy. If they're not performing well, you're going to be underwhelmed no matter what.
I think it's. Look, I get what you're saying. There, for me, it's whether or not the player performs. So I couldn't care. No one's spoken about. I think Bruno's total price once all the fees are paid, and he's definitely going to achieve all the things that are in them clauses with the way he scores. It's about a £60 million deal. But who talks about Bruno's price tag as an example? We did see everyone talking yesterday about how well done, by the way, to Sporting that have won the league and done. By the way, this show done another club to do an invincible season. It happens quite a lot. Invincible seasons really across Europe, and they're like, see, look how much better. I actually saw a Man United fan say we need a brand new system at Man United that doesn't make Bruno the chief goal scorer, because Sporting Lisbon are the blueprint. It shows if you spread his goals across the team, like we'll win the title. And I always love those kind of things, because it's almost like it doesn't, you are negating the fact that like Benfica let a lot of their star players go this year. I mean, you just did a completely like separate part of the argument, you know, and stuff like that. But no one ever talks about transfer fees when a player does well, if that makes sense. And you know, it's just one of them things. If Man United last year would have won an FA Cup in the Europa League and finished third, I don't think Maguire would have been as big a target. Interestingly, AWB last season got a lot of ridicule. That was because he cost 50 million but couldn't attack like Trent. Have you noticed how this year, because Trent's spin off the boil, no one's talking about anything negative about AWB, because it doesn't suit the narrative. So I hear what you're saying, Igal, but it's about them working. And whether we pay 30 million for Basuma or 100 million for Declan Rice, if they come in and deliver and the team gets better and they perform well, no one really talks about the fee, if that makes sense. Like, how many people talk about how much Mbappe cost?
Not many. But one thing you just said, if Sporting Lisbon are the blueprint, they went in there and they beat up their whole team. So that's not a blueprint there. A lot of people are
the fans
they
went up there and give him a little.
If that's the blueprint, I'm telling you, who's really, and they made fun of Manchester United for taking over a stadium. Imagine what they would say about Sporting Lisbon's fans if that happened in the UK.
We're pretty relaxed in, like, even some of the extreme things you see happen, turning up at CEOs' houses and stuff. We're pretty relaxed in this country. I've seen footage of stuff in South America. I've seen footage from stuff in Europe where I'm like, wow, this is like a coup. Do you know what I mean? This is like a military coup. They're gonna take over. Like, they've made themselves be heard. Like, I know it's more of an emotive situation, and I want to say it was Broca Juniors, and I could get the club wrong, but there was a guy that works in the morgue where the late great Diego Maradona's body was kept, and I don't know why he felt it was right, but took a selfie with himself next to the body. That picture got leaked, and the ultras of Broca Juniors, I want to say it was Broca Juniors, it could have been somebody else, found him and killed him.
It was three of them.
Yeah,
killed him. Killed them. Or them.
Terry,
we think our fans are extreme.
Terry, Colombian fans back in the day killed one of their own players because he knocked them out of the World Cup.
He missed the penalty, I believe.
Yeah. So us breaking into the Old Trafford. Oh, you know what I mean? Oh no, don't do that.
That's always the way with stuff in this. Like, one of my great friends, he's from South Africa, and we were talking. I don't know where we were. We were talking once about when you remember the tag was going around of Broken Britain, and I was it's really bad, like this and that, and these crimes. And he just looked at me and he's like, "You do realize where I'm from, don't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he was giving me some statistics, and I was like, "It's actually all right where we are, isn't it?" Like, again, comparatively speaking. So it's like what I see. Some people throwing beer bottles at the police is terrible. You compare it to what some other clubs in other parts of the world do. It's like that's like child's play. So I do hear you.
You see what happened to Mustafi and Kolasinac? They seen it firsthand. They were at Arsenal where we were cussing them, and they're like, "You guys are abusing me." They go to Schalke. They're getting chased out of the stadium.
Listen. Kolasinac, fought off armed robbers. Armed robbers with 2v1. He fought them off. The fans though couldn't handle it. Because football is a different kind of thing, fam, a different kind of emotion.
I'm surprised someone didn't edit that and turn it into a meme.
What? Him being chased the night.
Kolasinac and Mustafi running.
I didn't even know that happened, to be fair. So that went right over my nut light. I didn't see that. Right, just in case anyone's wondering, nut means head. Like my brain.
But yo, Sancho, if Sancho does happen,
I don't know. What's his nut? What's his nut? What's he talking about?
Terry, getting back to Sancho, if Sancho does happen, you guys were so underwhelmed on the last transfer window last summer, right? If it does happen and it's for a lesser fee and you guys do get your man and you have Diallo and everybody else and you've had a good season this season, I would say relative to what you expected, in that case, is it another thing that the board at Manchester United got right? And Ollie,
it's why are you always trying to give these pagans praise, bro? It's always you,
bro, because you always come with the Arsenal's back, so I'm coming back with. Once again, they proved you wrong.
Who
if they had Sancho, they may have been able to be closer to Man City. So that's actually not that. I would think of it that way. Even though you can't prove it, if you had Sancho this season, then maybe you'd be a lot closer to Man City, and maybe you would have won more stuff.
So they fumbled and stumbled over the line, and this is all basically on Ollie and the players. How are you giving these men any credit, bro? Knowing the situation that you're in, knowing the situation that you're in.
I'm not giving credit to the owner. I'm not giving credit to the board. I'm giving credit to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and the recruitment staff, who instead of getting him now, ended up getting him a year later for a lesser price, where he's had still a great season. And you're bringing a world-class player for 20 to 15 million less than what you would have paid last summer. And you also still got Cavani, Diallo, everything else, and your team is in a better situation.
There's no praise.
I'm not a Manchester United fan, but I'm just
there's no praise to be given to those board members because that wasn't the plan. The reason why we didn't get Sancho in the first place because they blocked it. They stopped it. They took too long. We are fortunate that we've got another situation where we can go after Sancho. Because if Chelsea really wanted and Liverpool really wanted, they would have got Sancho before us easily. So trying to find some way to praise this man makes no sense because they're the reason why in this situation in the first place. It is luck, like you like to say.
Woodward's gone, so you should praise them for that at least.
He's still he was leaving.
Hang on one sec. He resigned. I can't thank the Glazers for Woodward resigning. Equally, Jess hit the nail on the head, and I'm going to drum down on that point. From a commercial element, to pick him up for 15, 20 million pound less is great. In fact, if we pick him up for 80 million, it's 50 million pound less than the initial asking price they set 2 years ago of 120 million. And that's great. But I would give, if I had the club bank account details, I'd give 50 million right now to have that trophy off of Man City. Point blank. And we may not have won it if we had Sancho, but we'd have had a damn sight better chance of doing it. Back to last summer as well. If we'd have stopped chasing Sancho after that deadline, got Cavani in, given him a proper preseason, if we would have got Telles in, given him a proper preseason, we may have had a better chance of starting the season better. An extra 5 to 10 points in them opening 5, 6, 7 games was more than achievable. We would be in a title race right now. That is a mathematical fact. So for
might be still in the Champions League as well. You never really know.
Could be, because even with like as well as Cavani has done now. Now Telles hasn't played too many games, but he's elevated Luke Shaw to that next level. Those two players could have helped us in those early stages, but at the same time, I think Cavani would have been match fit, a match fit Cavani from the start of the season. We would have an extra 9-10 points now, in my opinion. So I hear your point on the base of it. You're getting him cheaper. That's good. It's good commercial business. But that element for me, I'd have rather paid an extra 20 million pounds and had him in last year, mate. 110%.
But you're still getting, let me finish with this. You're still getting a trophy. And for me, as an Arsenal fan, hearing from Manchester City winning a trophy, I like it. You know why? I don't hear from them. They're just quiet. They're non-existent. Where Manchester United, if you guys would have won this league, it would have been absolute tortures for everybody. You would have gone around celebrating. Terry, on stream, you would have had you would have had a Premier League trophy, little Premier League trophy. You would have raised it in the office probably. I'm telling you.
Maybe. But I can't praise the Glazers, unfortunately. Manchester is blue here. Says it was an own goal. It says it was an own goal. Not a penalty. I think the Colombian player he's talking about.
Yeah.
Jesse here says, Igal, the 20 million United would have saved is going to be taken out as dividends by the Glazers. We didn't save anything. We serviced their incompetence. That's also very true. It isn't like we're saying, right, we saved 20 million. Where else can we spend it? Let's give the working class. Do you know what I'd love more than a hole in the stadium? Cheers, mate. What? Even more than a hole in the stadium being fixed. Let's give it to the key workers. Let's give it to the people that are on the barely earn a living wage at Man United. Let's give it to like something other than them taking it out and buying a new yacht, a new house, a new mall. I mean, I actually wouldn't even mind if Joel Glazer got himself a hair transplant. Like, sort that mop out.
Oh, hey, him and Malcolm both need it, bro. Flip it off, fam.
Yeah, like, spend it on something that improves the club's image at least. Like, cause that hair, bro. Like, you got a ponytail when you're bald. What is that about? Is that a thing in America? Men do that.
It's when you're rich and you're American, you do crazy things. I mean, we've seen Donald Trump's wig. You know, it's a thing. It's a thing.
Terrible, like a David Crockett hat, mate. Get it off. Either shave it off or get that hair transplant. Blah. Like Elton John, right? Elton John's got a great one. Rooney might be able to sort you out. Do something productive with that money. Like, it really
chat to Conte, bro. Chat to Conte, man. My man, good.
Quick update for everyone who's just tuning in. So, news this afternoon from Fabrizio Romano. One, the price is set for Jadon Sancho. It will be between 85 and 90 million euros. Aside from that, Dortmund, along with Manchester United, want to get this deal done before the start of the Euro 2020, but although it's being played in 2021, we know why. This summer, they want to get it done. There's a gentleman's agreement between Sancho and Borussia Dortmund to allow him to go this summer. Manchester United do have the funds to land Jadon Sancho. He's their priority signing after Eric Bailly and Edison Cavani renewed their contracts and are staying at the football club. Liverpool are looking to try and come in and scarper this deal for Manchester United, but need to sell a player or some players to raise the funds to get this done. It still gives Man United the window of opportunity to get this done before the Euros begins, before anybody else can get themselves involved. The question is, can Myrtle, can Darren Fletcher almost rid Man United of the Woodward era, get this business done sooner rather than later? But Jadon Sancho leaving Dortmund is getting closer and closer. It will happen this summer. I could not, unless there's an injury to the player, it will happen this summer. Secondary news to that, anyone who wants Declan Rice at Man United, as it stands right now, just start to get that out of your head. Man United have confirmed they do not have the funds to land him this summer. Even with Lingard being used as a make weight, it is too expensive a deal for Man United to make right now without the selling of other stars or other players along the way. And you all know better than I do. There's two basic players that could be Martial or Paul Pogba. None of us would want Pogba gone to land Declan Rice, or I certainly wouldn't. You may think something different. We want to hear from you on this right now. We're also talking Verratti to Chelsea, if you want to have a conversation about that. The mighty Champions League winner Ryan Bertrand to Arsenal Football Club as well. If anybody wants to ring up and speak about that, we shared the link on the Discord.
I didn't know that was a part of the program. I came here to talk about other things.
Now, well, if you want to come on and have your say, and I've posted it in the comment section as well. But
also, I just want to address the comment.
Subscribe to the Football Terrace and turn on the bell notification button for us. Get your super chat questions in as well. We've had no questions coming. Quite a few super chats, but no questions yet. If you want a chance of going into the prize draw. Next on the show, we're going to go with next. You all right, Cage?
Yeah, I forgot that Malcolm's dead. So Avram Glazer. I said Malcolm Glazer needs a hair transplant. My man's resting wherever he rests and that, you know what I'm saying?
It's a Freudian slip, mate. It's a Freudian slip. It was just a slip of the tongue. It's all good. No one's going to hold that one against you, bro.
We never know nowadays, you know what I'm saying?
It was a mistake. It was a pure mistake. No problems there at all. Matt here. Sorry, we've got some simping here. Says Princess Jess, big up. Princess.
Hey there.
Yeah. This is like, hi, thanks for that. Thank you. We're going to get Chucky on the show. Not seen Chucky in a while. What you saying, bro?
What's good, people? Hello, gents. Hello, lady. You all good?
I said, hello, lady. You know, okay, Chucky.
I nearly died, but I'm alive, people, so it's all good. Chucky's still here, man. Just in recovery.
Oh, okay, nice.
Bad times. But let's talk about what's important. Those pagans got what they deserved, isn't it? They're losing revenues. They're losing sponsorships here, there, and everywhere. Let me just point that out first. Good work, people. You did that. Loving it.
Oh, hey, man was in his hospital bed. It's like, yes, boys, get the pagans out. You know, as they're screaming, the nurse is like, is he okay? Does he need mental assistance? Like,
You play when we say. Anyway, let me stay on topic.
I hear you on that, bro. What do you make of the Sancho news now? It does have the feeling that his transfer from Dortmund looks 100% likely to happen. Man United is still seemingly the front runners. What's your thoughts on it all, mate?
Sancho, if nothing's changed, we need that guy more than anything. Badly need Sancho. He obviously wants to come. Liverpool can try and make noise, but it seems like the deals are in place. And as far as Manchester United track record of dragging it out and taking negotiations to the next level, guys, we've been doing this for a year now. We should be okay. I think we got a head start this time. We can't mess it up this time around because it's been dealt with for so long. On the notions of Manchester United did good business with waiting a year, get out of here. It was not good business. They flipping messed around, messed it up, messed up our season, which could have been more special than it is. But anyway, we are where we are. So yeah, the whole Sancho fiasco hopefully will be tied up soon. Hopefully sooner rather than later. And yeah, we definitely need him. We need Sancho more than anything. I really do believe so. It will give us long-awaited balance. And also, he will have the freedom with Aaron Wan-Bissaka behind him, who is a true tackler. Sancho can have that freedom to go and express himself even more so than he would have done before. It's kind of a more so of a license to roam, if that makes sense. That's how I feel.
Yeah, and I hear you on that, mate, completely. I think it will just be... I know there's a lot of people saying we need a CDM more than we need the right-hand side of the attack. I just can't... I can't buy into that. We've needed this position filled since Ronaldo, so I'm not having it. I'm literally not having it. It's the most important position to fill. We need to get it done this summer. How much do you think, Chucky, Jadon Sancho would transform Manchester United? What do you think he would bring to us that we don't have now?
What it brings to us, what we don't have now, is natural creation from the right-hand side and the willingness to be on the right-hand side. Jadon Sancho, he likes to cut in, but he's adept at staying out wide as well. And also, as far as numbers, when we have situations that we do right now, as in Martial being injured, Sancho can play on the left as well. And also, almost as a cam, he's as creative as Bruno, but different way of thinking, obviously, in total. And the advantage of him being British already as well. So he knows the British game. He knows the Premier League. So it won't take him long to settle in. Basically, the best thing I can say with Jadon Sancho is he will add balance to Manchester United. And if you look at anything in life, if you're working on balance, it's well, you're always compensating. So maybe we might find our CDM situation might not be as grave if we've got somebody who's naturally creating the right-hand side, leaving players to concentrate on other factors of the game rather than covering the right-hand side. So yeah, I think it'll bring great balance to Manchester United.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. That balance is so underappreciated and under discussed. And if you relieve the pressure, we're so predictable as well as a club. We know that all our attacks go down that left-hand side primarily. Having that balance, and something's got to give. You can't, if you double up on both sides, stop our creativity on both wings. It means there's room in those central areas for your midfielders. So the Freds and McTominays, I think, will have more time on the ball. That can only help them because they need all the help they can get from a creative point of view. So I totally hear what you're saying there, Chucky. Great call as ever, mate. I'm glad you're feeling better after your accident, mate, and look forward to speaking again soon, bro. Take care, my man. Thank you. I
wish I had that much energy if I was in an accident. Bloody hell. Like, man was like popping.
Chucky's full of life. He's full of life, bro. Next on the show, we're going to get Ray on to have his say. What you saying, buddy?
Hey, it's been a long time since I've been on the show, a few weeks. The first thing, I think we need to get Jadon Sancho. We need him on the right. Like, if we get Jadon Sancho and we don't sell Martial, look at this. You can put Martial and Rashford on the left. Up forward, you have Cavani and Greenwood. On the right, you can have Sancho, and you can bring in Diallo sometimes in, because I like what Diallo proved in the game against Leicester. So you have strikers in all sides of the pitch. And then you get a defensive midfielder. If we're not going to get someone like Declan Rice, and we can't get Ndidi because of the pricing, What about Ruben Neves? And if we're not going to get Ruben Neves, there are other defensive midfielders, natural defensive midfielders out there. Even if they're cheap and they don't do good, we need a natural defensive midfielder. We need to get in. We will cause problems to so many teams. We need to get Jadon Sancho. And I think Jadon Sancho will be coming into the club. Because I can name off the bat 2 defensive midfielders that are cheap, that can come in and do the job.
Mate,
if we don't get Ruben Neves.
Mate, I hear you on that one. Listen, Ray, great call, mate. Nice to hear from you. You look after yourself, buddy. And we'll speak again soon. We have some more calls here. Lots of people here. You can see they just want Jadon Sancho. Slen's here. Man like Slen says, Terry, did you hear that Frank Lampard has emerged as the front runner for the Crystal Palace job?
Yes.
That's where he's level.
That is where he should have ended up after Derby. If you're going to go anywhere, you go somewhere like that where you can sink your teeth into the Premier League. You have a decent enough squad to survive. Crystal Palace survive the Premier League every year most of the time. So, yeah, that's where he should be at. And this will actually probably be a good place for him to learn things again and get his confidence back as a manager. And maybe see what... You know what? It'll be good to see how he deals with someone like Zaha. You know what I mean? Someone with a personality, someone who's got a little edge to them. Let's see how he handles him. You know what I mean? Because one of his biggest downfalls at Chelsea was not being able to deal with personalities and big characters. So you've got one right there, their best player. Let's see how you handle him.
No, I agree with that. There's a super chat here. Must be a lie. It says David Ornstein reported that Arsenal are working on Benzema and Di Maria for 100 million. Is anyone else? I haven't heard that.
Why are you trying to wind us up? Come on.
Yeah,
now.
it's gotta be. Like, that can't be true. Maybe Danny Ings and Zaha, not Benzema and Di Maria. Maybe. We will see. Let's do some more calls here. We're gonna go next to Matt. Matt is with us here. Matt, more links of Sancho to Man United. No Declan Rice, though, according to Dean Jones. Give me your thoughts and opinions.
This goes further on to what I said this morning about the transfer efficiency. If it is true that they want to get it done early, and it's to be proven, if they want to get it done early before the Euros, we'll wait and see. But I strongly don't believe it's going to happen before the Euros. I bet they'll leave it as long as they can. Or if Jadon Sancho doesn't go to the Euros, magically Gareth Southgate doesn't pick him, it's then it'll happen then. But in terms of Declan Rice, I think, like I said this morning, there's plenty of DMs about. It's just a case of picking the right one. Looking at those stats, Fred and McTominay do look comparable to Basuma and Sanderberg, but I think you have to look at the midfields they play in as well. I think they play in a midfield 3, and you've got 2 boxes, or you've got 2 3/8s in Brighton, or you've got 2 8s running for Sheffield United, and sometimes Sanderberg playing as one of those 8s as well. So it's a little bit. You need one of those players. You still need a Fred alongside, or a McTominay alongside a single pivot DM in our team to keep the balance right. Because it's someone like a Fred. Like, you look at Kante the other day when he was playing alongside Jorginho, he could run on, win the ball high up the pitch, and Jorginho just dictated the play. We need someone alongside Fred, perhaps, or again, you can have Pogba alongside it. Alongside if you're playing against a low block, it gives us many options if you have a DM that can play as that single pivot. It's just finding the right one that's got the progressive passing to move the ball from the back 4 to the attack quickly. That's the thing.
No, I agree with that completely. In terms of Jadon Sancho, you're not sure whether or not it will happen before the Euros. How confident on a scale of 1 to 10 are you that he will join Man United?
Again, it's a difficult thing, isn't it? Obviously, we've been working on it for a year. He clearly likes the players in Man United. Obviously, he did that commercial with Pogba, and they always, they were having their banter back and forth. Rashford, he's obviously good mates with. I think he can see the potential of the team. It's just whether Liverpool will need to sell players. It's quite clear. But again, it's whether Murta wants to put his statement out there. I'm not playing about. I'm here to make a president out of this signing and make my statement clear.
I hear you on that. Listen, Matt, as earlier on today, great call, great points being raised there as ever. Speak to you soon, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Top man. It's have a look at the Twitter, David. I did have a look at his Twitter just to check, and I cannot see any links to Benzema.
No.
I have a quick little look. I didn't see any of that.
I think Jess would know. I think Jess would know if that something like that was to come out. You know what I mean? We know Jess got contacts, so
Yeah, for real. I'm in there. I'm in the know. You guys know this. You guys know.
100%. I've heard these rumors. I mean, do you when you look at Arsenal? Let's talk about Arsenal for a minute. Can you see?
You know, this is not why I come on these, Terry. I come on here specifically to talk about other teams, not about us. But yeah, go ahead.
What like do you? I keep seeing kind of posts and tweets from people saying these are the types of players we need, and I see pictures like Benzema's, Jack Grealish's. Do you have any hope or expectation of players of that ilk coming in this summer?
Well, no, but those are not the players that I think we need. You know, I understand that we need better players, but better players come in different forms. They're not always just like big names. And I know that Arsenal fans are attached to big names. We need to have big name players, but we've never really bought a lot of big name players. They've become big name players at Arsenal. Like, we know this. The only big name player I can think of that we bought is like Mesut Ozil, you know, but he was already kind of on the outs at Real Madrid, really. It was different, you know? So for me, it's just, I think we need better players of a younger profile between the ages of 23 and 25. It's a longer term rebuild. So by the time we get to where we think we're going to be, they'll be 27, 28, you know? So
I think someone's retweeted the Onstein tweet in 2030.
I think maybe they wanted me to like get my phone and like be like, "Are you serious?" Like, you know, like.
Oh yeah, like, people in the comments. Remember, this is Jess. This is Jess. She don't move like a gal. She don't move like a gal. It's Jess.
Jess is not silly to call for that. There's some. No. I hear you. What that? Yeah, no, I do hear you on that. We're gonna go to some more calls. Man, like Tom Little's here. I want to speak to Tom. Hey, Tom. What? Liverpool and Sancho, but they say you've got to sell some or a player first of all. Can you see you let
don't try and feed me that? Do they honestly think Divock Origi and Jadon Sancho are going to be enough to fund the Sancho?
That's what made me
you
laugh.
You got to sell Salah. You got to sell him.
When I was getting called out earlier, when I was getting called out on socials earlier, some guy legitimately said to me, "No, Terry," he said, "some players we sell Minamino, Salah, and the Vlog. That's it." And I thought that doesn't even pay for the flight from EasyJet, bro. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're not even paying for the flight for that one.
If we try to sell Divock Origi to a club, we're gonna have to pay them to take him. That's the level he's at now. We're gonna have to sell Salah. We're gonna have to sell Salah if we want Sancho.
Yeah, you know what's mad though? You know, to who, bro? No one's got no peas.
I don't even know.
Juve ain't got no money. Barca ain't got no money. Madrid ain't got no money. Bayern ain't got no money like that. Who you know who you sell Salah to? You're selling them to Chelsea or Man City or United. That's the only options that you got, bro.
And do you know what's crazy about that? Like, whenever people keep denying that it's going to happen. Oh no, we won't sell to this club. We won't sell to that club. I don't know. You know, Liverpool need. The irony in it is, what I find really ironic about this is Liverpool fans have boasted 3 or 4 seasons about how we didn't spend like Chelsea and Man United and City do. We spent because we sold a star, we sold an asset. That's our model. Now that people are saying you won't buy Sancho until you sell because that's your model, it's like, nah, that ain't our model, bro. I'm like, you boasted about it for 4 years. Now you're pretending like that isn't how you operate. I can't see it. The problem that Liverpool have got is they don't have any players they want to sell who are worth enough money to raise the funds. If they sold Divock Origi after he scored the Champions League winner, you'd have got 20-30 mil for him. What's happened with Liverpool is this bad season, it's lowered the stock and valuation of so you can't get any money for Ox. You can't get any money for Baby Keita. Like, you have to sell a star unless
we hold on to the players for the good moments.
No,
that's all it is.
I get that, Tom. Do you see FSG putting their hands in their pockets and buying you a Sancho-esque player to add to the squad this year without selling one? Can you see that happening at all?
Well, I saw FSG promise us fans that we were going to have a massive summer after we won the Champions League. And our massive summer consisted of £8 million for Harvey Elliott, £1.5 million for Sepp van den Berg, and Adrian panic buy on a free. That was it. I don't trust these owners to go into their own pockets they'd sooner take money out the club. They've never taken money out the club, but they've never put money in. They'd sooner take money out than put it in. We run on a sustainable model. That's not how you win consistently anymore. That's just a matter of fact. You can't win consistently anymore by being sustainable, because other clubs who are willing to pump money in, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'd love it if we had owners that did do that. I'm not one of these people who is against it, but you have these owners who pump money in, and if you pump enough in, you get the results. Gone are the days of where you can just keep bringing up players and winning, because there's too much money involved now. That's the issue.
Well, the thing is, I said this to Liverpool fans 2 years ago, and again, you get shot down as being a hater, and it was me being realistic. When you build a team from youth players and lesser valued signings that you develop, but then the expectation of winning rises, it's harder to go back to that same model again because nobody wants to wait. One of the reasons why, Fergie had lots of good young academy players that came through after the class of 92. But once Man United started winning trophies and doubles and trebles, the standards were reset of winning. It didn't have the luxury of saying, right, I'm going to get rid of my 3 best players again and develop these 3 new youth players that are coming through, because the expectation of winning was there. He had the opportunity to do it. And then when the Chelseas and the Cities came along with their spending power, it became even harder to say, do you know what? We're not going to sign a top striker. We're going to give Danny Welbeck an actual run in the team and develop him more. There wasn't the room to do that because other teams were spending above and beyond you. So when you're one of the biggest spenders, you can afford to do that because you've still got a better squad than everybody else. It just changes the landscape. And I think what Liverpool did in the FSG, I've said it for a while, I think FSG are happy to challenge for league titles once or twice every 5 or 6 years. That's their model and how it's going to work. And it's whether or not Liverpool fans are willing to accept that or not. London Trident is back again here, and he says, look, on the BBC Sport, they reported it.
Yeah, I'm not going to look. I'm not going to look, London Trident. I'm not going to look.
Oh, listen, 2013.
Send me the link, brother. Send me the link, London Trident, and I'll put it up on the screen. Send me the link, my guy.
We'll be getting link with Manny Aguirre again in a minute.
Yeah. Oh, yo, Tom, I got something to say to you, by the way. My Liverpool friend. I was thinking about this earlier today. If we did combined 11 of Man United and Liverpool this season, only 2 Liverpool players get in, bruv. 2, fam.
I mean, it's Salah, and I'd put Fabinho in there.
Yeah, that's the only 2. No, you can't chat to me about anyone else. Don't chat to me about no one else.
I mean, Alisson's the only other one you can make an argument for because he's the only one who's played enough games.
Alisson, Alisson Blunderland, bruv. Listen, he's had a hard season.
That's it. No, Alisson's the only other one.
Yeah, I mean, it's this. I just find the turnaround of Liverpool and Man United in terms of we haven't won what you won last year. There's no doubt about it, but the turnaround in the space of the last 12 months is just mad. Like, and if you were linked with Sancho this time last year, we'd all be like, we're done, we're finished. And now it's like a legitimate question I've got that I would pose to Jadon is, why Liverpool, mate? That's how I feel about Liverpool right now. Why would you go Liverpool? Like it just is what it is. Klopp's only got a couple more years there anyway, and who knows who's coming in after that? Do you know what I mean? Frank Lampard, maybe. We will see. We're gonna do some more calls here. Abs is with us. Abs, what you saying, mate?
What's up, everyone? How's everyone?
Good. What do you want to say, mate? Oh. Signal is bugging. His signal was bugging him. So let's go to. We're gonna get him on. Should we get him on? Yeah. So we get our Donny update. We
need our Doncaster moment.
We need our daily Donny. The daily Donny is here. Hit the like and share button, people. Make sure you stay. I want to see how many people can write the word Donny. We're gonna give him 2 minutes to speak. I think we have to limit Aaron because that guy would. I know I talk a lot, but it is my channel, so I'm allowed to do that. 2 minutes we're giving him. How many times can we write the word Donny in the live chat in 2 minutes? Let's go. Wait. Sorry. What do you want to say, bro?
So first of all, on the Man U stuff, by the way, just quickly, Sancho's coming to United. No way, no question, he's coming to United. My update quickly: we've got our new talent identification manager. And I'm excited because he helped get a club to the Premier League and he's dropping down to League One. It's amazing. It's brilliant. His name's Graham Graham Younger. He was at Cardiff. He was a performance analyst. He helped Cardiff get to the Premier League. So very happy with the recruitment with that. And I can't wait for the new manager announcement at the end of the week. So, yeah, Rovers sides are, come on! Up to the Premier League.
You are brilliant, mate. Thanks very much for coming on, mate, and having your say. I appreciate it, bro. Top man. Do you know what I love about Aaron? He phoned a Man United-based stream and was like, yeah, Jadon Sancho is going to be really, really good. Right, now for the Donny update.
The actual news here, people.
I love it. I love it. London Trident's back again and says, I tweeted it and sent it to you on Facebook. You sent it to me on Facebook.
Why is he so determined to show that this tweet is real? Like, what?
Put the link in the chat, DG. Put the link in the chat. Next time we're going to have a man like Peterson with us. What are you saying, bro?
So, guys, yeah, what I'm saying right now is that I was thinking about something. You know, we talk about a lot about, players being loyal to their clubs. Just imagine the fact, Salah's been scoring 20 goals per season, every season, since he's come to Liverpool. Imagine if Liverpool has to sell him to buy Jadon Sancho. How messed up that would be. I was just thinking about it. I'm like, man, that's freaking disgusting by FSG. And the fact that we need to sell players to buy big names, I mean, just disgusting to me.
It's not surprising. It's not surprising. It's how this club's run itself ever since FSG have come in. We had to sell Suarez to try and move on to the next level, but they didn't get it right that time. We had to sell Coutinho to move on to the next level. When this club gets into positions where they can really build, the owners stagnate, they're complacent, and then you fall back and you sat there going, oh, well, it's the players, it's the manager. It's them. But they're the ones that have the power. They're the ones that are never going to change unless we get them out. That's the issue.
Yeah, I think what's interesting, again, what I'm seeing a lot today is almost semantics to a degree. No, he said some players, not a player. No, it won't have to be a big star. Scrape all that BS away. Liverpool Football Club, one of the biggest sporting institutions in the world, with one of the biggest fan bases, huge income. Do you remember that Nike deal? And by the way, all player prices have dropped because of COVID. Yeah. All clubs have lost money. All prices have dropped. So it's a bit of give or take, really. But the new Nike deal, they told us all via the press that it was groundbreaking. They were getting paid more per year than anybody else ever. Plus, they were earning 20% for all Nike, Liverpool branded Nike merchandise. People are still buying things. Like, if you actually look around the world right now, restaurants, cars, homes, although we've been in lockdown, there's a lot of money being spent still.
That's right.
Liverpool fans are buying the merch. Where's the money going? The fact it doesn't matter if Mo Salah, Firmino, and Mane get to stay. Why are you having to sell 5, 6, 7 players that we can't even think about Jadon unless we get rid of these 5 or 6 players? For me, it should be we're going to buy Jadon Sancho and then we'll work out what to do with these other 4 or 5 players. We'll loan a couple, we'll sell a couple, but we can go and get it done. For me, the penny pinching is embarrassing for a club your size, Peterson.
It is. And the thing that pisses me off the most is the fact is that they don't even think that if they don't invest, when you think about branding, it's going to impact the club so much. Because think about that. When you go to like USA, Canada, you talk about like big clubs in Premier League, they're going to talk to, they're going to say Arsenal, Manchester United, Chelsea. But they will never say Liverpool because nobody knows Liverpool because our branding's so freaking shit. Because we don't invest in Liverpool like Chelsea, like Manchester United used to. We're not like that much of a branding club as like those other clubs I just mentioned. So that's thing pisses me off because when you invest, people know about you and you make more money out of it. So that's my whole point.
But I hear you.
People know about us though in America. They know about us. It's just I get what you're saying. We'll become a less
we're not as big. That's what I meant.
Over there. We'll become a less profitable thing over there if we don't keep investing because that's how American sports work. All these big name superstars, big name money, flashy lights. That's what happens. We are known over there. We're I think we're the second biggest club over there behind United. But we just need to keep trying to grow.
No, you man, you end up signing some American wonder kid to try and boost up the fans over there. You know
we'll go buy Christian Pulisic.
Yeah, Pulisic from Chelsea.
There's our Mo Salah replacement. But we'll be promised Jadon Sancho and get Christian Pulisic.
That would be mad. That'd be mad. Listen, Peterson, great call, mate. It's great to have you on again. Speak to you soon, brother. All the best, my guy. Next up, Chris M is with us now. Chris M, remind us all who you support.
I saw that start, man. Nah, don't worry about it. It's Liverpool, man. It's Liverpool. Yeah, Liverpool.
I assume so. I just want to make sure. What you here to say, mate?
No. You guys were talking about FSG, innit? And I've been saying this for months. I've been saying this for years. These guys will never change. These guys are sell to buy no matter what. Whether we're successful, whether we're being poor, it's always going to be this way. And that's the problem. I'm not content with being every 5 to 10 years we get Champions League or Premier League. That's not how we should be operating. We are Liverpool Football Club. We are one of the biggest clubs in the world. We should be performing that way, on and off the pitch. That's all I've got to say here, man. Nah, this is it's ridiculous. It's actually ridiculous that we have to sell one of our biggest players, Mo Salah, who wants a contract, and we don't even want to give it to him right now because he's gonna give us a profit, isn't it? He's gonna give us a profit to get Sancho. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. It is pathetic, and I am ashamed of FSG. I am absolutely ashamed of them.
Listen, Chris, big words there, mate. I hear the pain in your voice. I really, really do. Thanks for coming on and having your say, mate. Top.
No worries, man.
It's sometimes it's just a few sentences like that just hit home. It's the embarrassment of the riches they have and having to do that now. It's an interesting one for me. And do you know the irony in it is, if they don't get rid of one of those two players, Sancho's not going to pick you anyway. Sancho wants to go into a team where there's a space in the roster for him. There's a space in the squad where Sancho understands that if he gets to a club and he isn't performing, he may not be in the starting lineup. That every footballer knows that. But he doesn't want to come in there and have to play second. Jota's going to get a lot more game time next year. He's not going to play centrally. He's playing left or right. He's going to want to be first team, which means what, you're going to tell Mane or Salah to sit on the bench? That isn't happening. They're going to ask to then leave. So yeah, it's just a mess there right now. They've got to sort something out. Someone here says Fabrizio Romano has tweeted. I don't know if he has. People say this all the time, and then I check, right? Sometimes I type it in, and it's like no new tweet. There's no new tweet. When did he tweet?
Do you want to know what's mad though with that point? You made about the Salah contract.
Yeah.
Mo Salah got his last contract at the start of the 18-19 season, and it runs out in 2023. Oxlade-Chamberlain got a new contract after that, but Ox runs out at the same time. Ox was injured at that point. We had no guarantee when he was coming back. Ox got a pay rise. Mo Salah got a 30% pay rise, I think it was. Mo Salah got a 50% one. Mo Salah just come off a record-breaking Premier League season. At this point with our wage structure, we get this idea of, we're not going to overpay players like 200, 300 grand a week now. But the fringe play, how many games has Ox played this season? He's on 100 grand, 120 grand a week. Keita, he can't stay fit for more than 5 games. I love him. But you can't rely on him. 5-10 games a season, 120 grand a week.
Can I ask a question about Naby Keita real quick? How can you love him as a player when he never played for you, really?
You know what it was? It was the expectation. I can't let it die because we had all that expectation on a year. We had a year of building up, coming in. And he came in, he did start really well. And then he got an injury and then couldn't get back in. And it all just went downhill there. You've seen the sparks, but you just know you're not going to get it consistently. But apart deep down, it's like watching your cousin play. You know you want to see him succeed, but you know it's not going to happen.
I love it. I love him just because listen, but it's not his fault because he's injured. But yeah, one of the biggest flops, I think, in Liverpool's transfer history. Not even so much the money, just what he was meant to come in and do, and he just hasn't been able to deliver it. But there we go. We're going to get Mohammed on now. Mohammed's a Liverpool fan. What are you saying, mate?
Hello, everyone. How are we doing today?
Good, mate. What's on your mind, brother?
I just wanted to discuss the Sancho deal. I don't see United getting him because of the City link, if I'm being perfectly honest. I see him going to Chelsea. Obviously, he's not going to go to Liverpool because Liverpool would need to sell one of their front 3 players, and no way anyone's going to buy any of our players anytime soon because of the pandemic, because of what's going on in the world at the moment.
So when you say the Man City link, so you think Sancho would say no to us because he played for City?
Yeah, exactly.
He's got
but yet he doesn't want to go back to Man City at all. So where's the allegiance there?
That doesn't mean anything because Chelsea are in for him though. So
and also, what about all the things that's just saying he wanted to come and he wanted to sign, he was going to sign?
Players don't care about that stuff anymore. They have zero allegiance to anything but themselves and their own career. So even if he was brought up in the City system, that was so long ago. Like, he'll go to Manchester United in a second. That's the best fit for him. I don't see any place other than that, really, unless Chelsea comes in and does a madness. But
I think as well, he's agreed to personal terms with Man United. He wouldn't like if he didn't want to go, he would have said a year ago, I ain't playing for you. I used to be at City. Hasn't done like Mohammed, I can't. I think that's you're a Liverpool fan, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's hope. That's the blind hope.
Also, I want to say one more thing. Sky Sports have said something about United being linked with some Atalanta centre back Romero. I don't know his name.
Romero. He's had a good season. He's had a very good season. I've never seen him play though. I've just seen his cards on FIFA. So,
if you've never seen him play.
If he's good, then cool, isn't it? If he's a good backup, then cool. Hey, if we're about to trade a goalkeeper Romero for a centre back Romero, I'm here for that. You know what I mean? I miss Rojo, so he's the closest thing I can get to that. So let's go for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Listen, thank you very much, Mohammed, for your call, mate. Really appreciate that, buddy. Top man. Thank you. Yeah, look, listen, but that's the kind of profile that we'll end up going for. So if we do land the Sancho deal, I think it will be players around the 25, 30, maybe 40 millions in the other positions. But this is where you need the scouting to be good. This is where they need to be right, because I don't really care how much they cost as long as they are good enough and they improve what we've got. Like, and ironically, this is what you'll see from Man United fans. You'll see the fans that right now say, don't sign the obvious expensive ones. Then you're linked to some obscure name they've never really heard of. And they're like, why are we linked to him? He's a dead baller, bruv. Like, you literally get those from the same people, I will add. You will always get that. There's no doubt. Next up on the show, we've got an Arsenal fan, Aslan, like the lion. How you doing, bro?
Hello, Terry. Hello, everyone on the panel. How's everyone doing?
Yo, he sounds like Aslan. Flipping out. I wasn't expecting that.
Aslan, hello, Asnania. Love it. What are you saying? What are you here to say, bro?
Do you want my thoughts on Arsenal related, or just what you're talking about, Sancho?
Whatever you're phoning to say, mate. It's all good.
Okay. Well, I mean, let me just talk about my club. On tonight's fixture against Chelsea, I don't have any. For me, the game just all about pride. The 3 points don't matter to me. The bragging rights don't matter to me, because at the end of the day, Chelsea are in the domestic cup final and the European Cup final. So, bragging rights has no relevance. It's just purely pride. Elevating up the table to qualify to the European Conference League. Again, I don't want to qualify to a third-tier European newly formed tournament. I just feel we just need a whole season out of Europe altogether for us to just concentrate on the league and work our way back up. To be honest, that's just my thoughts on Arsenal at this current time.
I get. So you want the pride tonight, but I suppose that element, you want the pride back, but pride could end up landing you in the UEFA Conference League thing, which I don't even know when they're playing those games. I think
it's on Thursday. I think it's going to be on Thursdays as well. I don't know what time. Imagine all that Thursday night football. Oh, I felt ill. Imagine to play at 6 o'clock. not even prime time. 6 o'clock Thursday nights, bro. Man.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because certain fans in our fan base are just going to be like, the higher up we can finish in the league this season with 3 games to go. They just want to compare it to our league finish last season. So anything around 8th or above, people who still feel that Arteta's the man for the job would see that as progress. But for me, I've never lowered my expectations. So for us to finish 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. Like, I really don't care about that. So Arteta tonight, I don't know how he's in the job. He was on very thin ice. For me, that the ice is cracked and, he's drowning. Like the owners this summer, they have to back him. If they don't, then Arteta just has to walk. If he has any love for the club, or if he cares about his reputation as a manager in years to come, surely he must know he's just not up to scratch to take us forward. So
when you say reputation, the man's 30s, 35, 36. No, his reputation ain't getting ruined because of Arsenal. Let's be honest now. If he gets sacked, he'll get another job somewhere in Spain or whoever, build himself up again. And 10 years down the line, he'll still be looked as a young manager anyway. So don't worry. You don't need to worry about no reputation. He will be fine.
No, but that's the point, though, KJ. Like, why? This isn't Arteta's fault. I don't blame him at all. This is purely on our ownership. For over a decade, they've lacked ambition or shown us direction in terms of where we want to head and what our targets and achievements will be. For me, like, Arteta should have had 3 to 5 seasons minimum. Any club around the world or clubs that he was affiliated to when he was in his player days, or even the Championship, like, he should have had 3 to 5 seasons under his belt for us to even consider hiring Arteta. But yeah, again, it's no fault of his own. It's just a lack of ambition that our owners have set, and that's trickled down to the board because they're just a bunch of yes men. They're also an inexperienced team in Vinay and Edu. For me, it just feels like they're winging it. I
hear you on that, mate. Listen, mate, you make some really good points, and I think it's interesting just reading the comment section. I think some of the Gooners agree, some don't, and that's part of the issue there as well. But I think one thing I'd say about Arteta, I've said for a while now, I do think of all the problems at the club, his lack of experience just isn't. They need somebody with more experience that's been around coaching, managing people that little bit longer than him. But I appreciate the call, mate, and you coming on the show. Top man.
I love how quiet Jess gets.
Thank
when
you very
Arsenal
much.
get brought up.
Yeah,
It's
Jess
just
is like,
quiet.
don't at me.
Not what I came here for.
She's there like, Arsenal.
Man, like,
I mean,
sorry, go on. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say I talked to Aslan a lot, and he speaks a lot of sense. That's definitely where we are, But who knows if it's gonna change, So we'll see.
That's an interesting one, though, isn't it? I think Arsenal sort of got him at the time because everyone looked dead highly on him, didn't he? Oh, he's Guardiola's assistant. He's this, that, the other.
That was the marketing aspect of it, though. Like, there's the marketing and PR that's what they feed to the fans to make us think it's going to be something it's not. But the reality is that they brought in somebody who was on the type of wages that they wanted to pay, and that would go along with what we were already doing. He would be okay with what we have at the moment. Like, I don't necessarily feel like nobody really buys into he was Pep's second. Who cares about that? That means absolutely nothing. So that's just PR. But really, they wanted him because he was the cheap option, and he would just go along with. No other manager would go along with this BS.
Yeah,
no manager starts the season with not a single attacking mid in their team. It was He's not an attacking midfielder. You guys know that. I mean, what team starts a season without a single attacking midfielder? No coach would go for that, but Arteta, So
I hear you on that. Canadian Cam's here with us. What you saying, bro? Sancho, the deal's looking closer. What you saying, bro?
So, how last year I basically thought it was done. The reason I have optimism this year, an actual I didn't believe for a bit, was if you look at our biggest threat, it is currently Chelsea, but it was really Liverpool. I've been saying for a bit that if Liverpool continued to do what they did last year, if they went further on in the Champions League and then Mane actually played well and they could sell him, I thought they would do that move in a second. Now it's not the case. So you hear this news that Liverpool might be informed or interested. Does everybody forget that last year Sancho was not going to come to United if we didn't get Champions League? Everybody said it. It was a very common thread. So all of a sudden that would change a year later? Nah. So I think now that threat of Liverpool not being as good is gone, the real threat is Chelsea. And because Chelsea is they're cutthroat, they could let Ziyech go in a second and they could let Cho go in a second. But now with the German papers, because like I translated a site from Bild the other night and they basically said, yeah, the deal is pretty much done. That's where I get my optimism because it's the best situation for him. If he wants to go to a team that's on the rise, we've gotten better and better. A lot of his mates are on the team. So now I'm confident that we can get it done. If we don't get it done before Euros, we won't get the deal done. I'll say that. I now have to say Zorc has made it very clear when he says something, it's final, and I can respect that. That's also a big part of it. Him saying Haaland's staying makes me believe that Sancho has to go. It's no longer a matter of Sancho wanting to go or waiting for the right, like they need that money. They can't wait another year because another year means Sancho's price gets completely slashed because then teams are just like, well, whatever, I'll just wait a year. So Haaland staying, Liverpool not being good, Bild the German saying it's happening and the English saying it's not. All those things to me say, cool, this deal should get done quickly. And hopefully Murtagh and Fletcher really want to actually stamp their place and be like, listen, we got this deal done quickly. Not a Tom Heaton signing, like a Sancho signing, but I do believe what Gary Neville said, that this will be our work. So I think United fans have to be kind of temper on their expectations. If we get Sancho done, I wouldn't be surprised if that's it. If we don't go and get a CDM, if we don't go and get I wouldn't be surprised if that's the signing. And you know what? I'm okay with that because realistically, we're not a team that looks like we're going to be buying 2-3 players every year. And Ollie seems to be content with just being like, just get my main targets and I'll do what I can with it. So that's how I feel about this deal. And hopefully in a few weeks, I'm not owing my buddy a bottle because I bet a bottle with my buddy last year that Sancho would come. I'm hoping this year I get to recoup it because I made the same bet.
Just keep making that bet. He might come by the time he's 35. Like it could happen. But like, I agree with a lot of what you've said there. It's the German press is saying it's going to happen. In terms of his transfer away is going to happen. And when you look at the options, he wants to come back to England, so that rules out the rest of the European elite. Who else has got the space and or money and Champions League football to offer him? No one. It's there for Manchester United, but it's imperative that we get it done. And like you say, if we let it go beyond the Euros, there could be some egg on Man United, the Man United board's face. There's no doubt about it whatsoever, but we will see what happens there. Terry, this reminds me of the Bruno, similar to Sancho. We were rumored for 2 years before we brought him in. Yeah, you are right, Ray. We were connected to Fernandez in the summer before he did come, and especially, but we couldn't get the deal done. And same with the Sancho. Like a lot of our deals have happened later because we couldn't get the deals done earlier. Maguire, a year earlier, the conversations had started as an example. So, you know, when you read back at what we spoke about Pogba, the Pogba deal was being negotiated a year before it ever happened. It's why when people say things like, oh, it's like November, why are we talking transfers? Because these conversations are always happening. It isn't just right. 1st of June comes and suddenly all the CEOs wake up. Like, they're not like Santa Claus. They don't work one day a year. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's an ever-going process like that. But everyone who's tuned in this evening, thank you. We're back live after Arsenal versus Chelsea. We're back live again this evening, so make sure you're tuned in for us there. Really appreciate that and looking forward to it. Retweet if you're watching on Twitter, like if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, subscribe to The Terrace. But until next time, take care, goodbye, God bless.